Tonight's match of Phoenix Rising FC is presented by Circle K, and it's match day 18, and a happy 4th of July to you wherever you may be, as Phoenix Rising is back in the Valley of the Sun to take on newest Western Conference foes in Lexington SC. You're watching the USL Championship. I want to welcome you up here above the pitch at 38th and Washington. Killian McClatchy, my partner as always, Joe Lowry. And Joe, it's so good to be back for us. Excited to be back with you guys here tonight. And I know that this Rising side is very happy to be back home as well.
Absolutely. And first off, props to you in the red, white, and blue. Nothing but respect for that. This Phoenix team, something of an oasis in the desert tonight, this game here at 38th and Washington. Their only home game in the entire month of July. They've been on the road, league games, Jägermeister Cup games as well. This team is thrilled to be back in a huge game tonight against a Western Conference rival. Yeah, this is a Lexington SC team. They've been playing a lot better than their record shows. We'll talk about that as we get going on. We're going to start off with the players to watch, though, tonight, presented by Circle K. We'll start with the host, and it's Zian Emmers, one of the newest members, getting his first league start tonight for Rising. Emmers brought in mid-season as a reinforcement in central midfield, someone that Phoenix Rising have viewed as a starting level player the entire time. Getting his first league start tonight, did get his first start ever for Rising last weekend in that 5-4 Jägermeister Cup goal fest win over Texoma. He's going to bring a lot of energy and ball progression in the central midfield area. Yeah, I got the legs back underneath him, ready to go, hopefully for a full 90 tonight. Over on the other side, this is a Lexington SC side, a new club, the newest one of the championship, and one of their big pieces is up top, Forster Ajago. Yeah, Forster Ajago, a player that Lexington have really liked, wanted to bring him in on day one of preseason on loan from Real Salt Lake. Took a little bit longer for that deal to get done. Ajago comes in on loan. He's got 3 goals in 6 games across all comps. He is a force to be reckoned with up top. Certainly glad to have him in Lexington. He is going to be a handful tonight for that back line of Phoenix. Well, those are your players to watch. Don't go anywhere. We got starting lineups and kickoff coming up on the other side of this break. We'll see what fireworks are on tap here on the 4th of July.
Hey, just a reminder that me and some friends are headed to the credit card bill tomorrow.
Again, I hate that you're always going to the credit card. Why can't you stay here and do things with us?
You don't generate the same interest. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Get your money working and keep more of it at home with 0% interest for 6 months on new Visa credit cards at America First.
Hey, John Hamm.
Hey, Gare Bear.
You still coming to my dog's birthday party?
I would, but I have to sell my car.
Well, just sell it to Carvana.
Carvana? Huh.
Great offers, 100% online. They'll pick it up. You told me about Carvana.
Did I?
And isn't that your car?
I mean, that could be anybody's car. Okay, fine. I sold it to Carvana. Thank you. Whoa.
So you'll come?
I just sold my car. What, am I going to walk? Sell your car to Carvana today.
When you trust your heart to Abrazo Health, you're choosing one of the Valley's largest networks of cardiologists.
Nationally recognized for the heart care we provide and a dedicated heart hospital.
You're choosing a team who has dedicated their lives to help save yours.
We are here for every heartbeat, from preventative diagnostic testing
to performing complex, life-saving heart surgeries.
In matters of the heart, we believe it's a journey that we all take together.
Because heart care is better together.
And now, everybody who's fueled by your local Circle K. There's flower shop owners, neighborhood bakers, awesome food truck sandwich makers, gearheads, mighty motorheads, farmers and their farmsteads, life-saving physicians and head-banging musicians, that guy who helps you change your spare, and rock star nurses. Hey. The people we rely on every day are fueled by Circle K. Every single day, fueled by Circle K.
Tonight's broadcast of Phoenix Rising FC is brought to you by Carvana, by ASMC, and by America First Credit Union. Back in Phoenix, an exciting night ahead here at 38th and Washington. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry. We're going to give you the starting 11 for both these sides here this evening. We're going to start off with the visitors here, the 11 for Terry Boss and Lexington SC.
Lexington tonight rolling with that 4-4-2 defensive shape. This will be the defensive shape for Lexington SC. Keep an eye on Forster Ajago and Marcus Epps up top. They'll shift, though, in the attack, having Xavier Zenge push forward into the attacking line, leaving them with 3 in the back.
Yeah, they'll be donning the orange tops tonight here for the visitors. First time ever to Phoenix for Lexington. Over on the other side, here's the 11 for Pamuduka. A relatively normal 11, a couple switches here and there.
Yeah, notable name. We highlighted him in the open. Sion Emmers making his very first ever USL Championship start. Charlie Dennis, notably off that hat trick in the Jägermeister Cup in that 5-4 win over Texoma, retains his starting spot on the right wing.
Yeah, and then Joe Margarita back off of international duty. He is back from the Gold Cup with Curaçao. A couple guys back from international duty. We'll touch on them in just a little bit later on this evening. Rising, donning the black tops with the white bottoms here this evening as we get ready to go here on the 4th of July. A beautiful night here in Phoenix. Temperature starting to come down just a little bit. Certainly a little on the toasty side. Still, though, as these two sides get ready to go. Rising coming in 20 points, currently sitting in 5th in the Western Conference, entering the evening. 5 wins, 4 losses, and 5 draws. And then Lexington, 14 points this season through the 14 games played, a record of 3-6-5. Still looking for their first road victory in the championship. Our head referee tonight is Elton Garcia. He'll be the man in charge as we are just about ready to go from the Valley of the Sun. Marcus Epps standing over the ball. There's the whistle. And off we go for match day 18. See if we can find 3 points on either side as Carl Saint immediately leaps up and gets ahead to it. And it'll be cleared up towards us here in the stands. As we said, this is a Phoenix Rising club coming off of that Jägermeister Cup week, a 5-4, probably one of the most thrilling Jägermeister Cup matches, I think, in the history of the Cup, you'd argue. But Charlie Dennis, a hat trick, also assisted on one of those 5 goals. Emi Quayshow ultimately in stoppage time winning it.
Yeah, that's the Emil Quayshow way, is those late winners for Phoenix Rising. Dennis was massive in that game, converting a couple of penalties, getting those open play goal contributions as well. Pamuduka talking earlier this week about why he's played Charlie Dennis a little higher than we've seen him in the past for Phoenix Rising, rather than in that number 8 midfield role. Said, Charlie's got a wand of a left foot. We want to put him in positions where he can be goal dangerous, and that's exactly what we saw last Saturday.
Down rolls out. On the other side, this is a Lexington SC club. They started out, they won their first ever match in the championship, took care of it, and then a long stretch they struggled. It was 11-match winless in league play, but they've currently turned things around in the midst of a 2-match winning streak.
Well, and a big part of that is the man who is contesting that ball right there, Forster Ajago, who's going to be a handful for Phoenix Rising tonight. This is the kind of game, if you're Pamuduka, this is the kind of game where you miss Pop Marboy a little bit in the physicality that he brings in the middle of the back line.
It was a little slow to get up. That was Alfredo Mirense. Took a little bit of a shot from behind from JP Skiers as he gets helped up off the turf. Lexington, their last league match, it was a 2-1 victory over the defending league champions in Colorado Springs. 2-1. Jago did have the opening salvo in that match, just 13 minutes in. This one played center back to Firmino and now to the back line. Stop and turn from Joe Hafferty. A lot of USL Championship experience on this Lexington SC side. This is obviously newest club, first season moving up from League One a year ago where they spent 2 seasons. But they've certainly got an influx of championship level talent on this side.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Marcus Epps is one of those names. Former Phoenix Rising player Marcus Epps had a cup of coffee out here in the Valley of the Sun. You think about Sofiane Jafal and Kendall Burks and Joe Hafferty. I mean, you run through the list of names, Killian. A ton of guys that know this league well.
As Firenze just sends that one spinning into the arms of Patrick Rakowski.
And we're brought in, these players, to try to establish a high floor under first-year manager Terry Boss, someone who'd managed at the collegiate level. But this is his first stint as a head coach in the USL Championship, as a head coach, period, in the professional ranks. This is a group that believes they've got a lot more. Speaking with Terry Boss earlier this week, you mentioned that 11-game winless run for Lexington. said, I was mostly pleased in a lot of ways with the performances that we put together in that run. Just did not have enough in terms of results in that stretch. They're hoping to get points on the board right now.
Yeah, there's your Spooner availability report for you, by the way. Full availability for Lexington. Pop Marboy working his way back. Same with Remy Cabral. And then Damian Rivera back from Guatemala. Still trying to work back from that little bit of a knock he took early on in the season. There's a ball played through right off the back, though, of Ajago, as Phoenix going to try and sprint it out the other direction. Dennis, little 1-2 touch, a little too far behind Emmers, as Emmers starts pressing forward. Emmers going to hold up. A couple orange tops come towards him, and he'll just let that one roll out for a goal kick.
And that one gets away from Sion Emmers there, making his first start out here at 38th and Washington. But you see him make those real bursting runs out of midfield, playing on that right side of the midfield trio for Phoenix Rising tonight. Watch Emmers as he tries to combine with Charlie Dennis. Dennis doesn't have as much dynamism in his movement on or off the ball. Emmers, though he doesn't have Noble Okello's frame, will provide a lot of that energetic movement in possession.
There's some pressure. Formella with the takeaway. Formella settles the shot and lines that one just wide of goal.
It's a great opportunity for Phoenix Rising there off the high press, taking advantage of the opportunity that they have being at home. Right after this road stretch where you go and you end up losing to Charleston in that 4-1 loss, you go on the road and play Texoma. Now you're finally back at home. If you're Phoenix Rising, you're taking the opportunity to be energetic in front of this home crowd. See a little bit of discombobulation from Lexington there in their own third. That's the kind of thing that they cannot afford with their possession-heavy system out of the back.
And the press from Emmers. And as that ball just cleared all the way back, Asenge gets his head to it. Little slip from Skierce. Ball falls right down. Skierce able to get a toe to it, but it bounces all the way and settles at the feet of Zenge. Into the center. Firmino going to stop and turn. Firmino. Laid off now, left wing. Zadiokun. Trying to get by Colin Smith, and he does, at least for the moment, and that'll be touched out. It'll be out for a goal kick, and we've got a second. It's now time for Lowry's Lowdown, presented by Peoria Nissan. Joe, what have you got for us on this 4th of July?
Yeah, for Phoenix Rising, it's a lot about playing through Lexington's right side. We saw it just a moment ago, but Xavier Zenge pushing high as a part of Lexington's attacking structure. They defend with a 4, but push Zenge forward into that attacking line to defend with a 3 in their defense. That leaves Joe Hafferty in a lot of space. If Joe Margarita can get on the ball in that spot on the left wing up against Lexington's right, he could have a lot of joy. So keep an eye on how Phoenix Rising transition from defense to attack, targeting that vacated space from Lexington. And on the other side, we talked about him already multiple times tonight, Forster Ajago, 3 goals and 6 appearances for this Lexington team. He is of the quality to be one of the best number 9s in the USL Championship, has minutes in MLS with Nashville, with Real Salt Lake, somebody that Lexington like a lot. He's going to be a handful tonight.
I'm touching a little bit more on Forster Ajago. This is a guy, as you said, he's in on loan from Real Salt Lake, and really it's kind of an interesting way about how he came in. It was one of the things Terry Boss told us this week. He said he was one of the first things I got, and I said, this is the guy that I want. I want him up top. The club said, all right, let's do it. Essentially had all of the paperwork lined up, and then some things fell through with Real Salt Lake. They ended up holding on to him a little bit longer than they thought. They expected to have him right at the start of preseason.
Yeah, it took a lot longer, right, for Forster Ajago to eventually work his way into this club. Now that he's here, though, after those minutes with Real Salt Lake, both in MLS and in CONCACAF Champions Cup play as well, they're thrilled to have him. And you can see why, right? With Forster Ajago, it's not just his size that makes him an asset. Yes, he can hold up play quite well. He is excellent at that. But it's his ability to arrive. Talking with Boss earlier this week, it's not just that he can drop between the lines and help plays continue and really elongate those sequences. Is that after he holds the ball up and moves it along to a teammate, whether that's Medense or Marcus Epps, he can then go and crash the box and is hungry to put up points for this Lexington team.
He's a big body out there, too. 6'2", 192 is what he's listed at. And he certainly looks every bit of it out there on the pitch. Phoenix trying to press a little bit higher. As the ball gets set down, Jafal, poor pass, intercepted. Laid ahead for Dennis. Dennis pushes off to Margarita. Margarita going to try and cross. That one deflected down as Margarita going to watch it go out for a corner. It'll be the first Carvana corner kick of the night. And they're actually going to say it's a throw.
And that's well done from Joe Hafferty to make that last-ditch challenge. to keep Joe Margarita away from that corner flag, and a really good bit of 1v1 defending from Joe Hafferty as well. That's the exact sequence we're talking about of Lexington pushing Xavier Zenge high in build-up, at times tucking him inside as well. Medense can drop into that space, but either way, they're pushing their outside back forward, which leaves Joe Hafferty as that edge defender. I don't think it's a coincidence tonight, Killian, that we see Phoenix Rising's best 1v1 attacker in Joe Margarita up against really a 1v1 matchup with Joe Hafferty. Keep an eye on that battle throughout the evening.
This one is a Carvana corner kick. This is actually the first one of the night. Carvana, proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising, will drive you happy. It'll be Aveyevu to take this corner, raising the right hands. Going to play it short. Margarita, nifty with the feet, as tries to get around, goes down easily, no whistle. And now an opportunity potentially for Lexington if they can build out on the counter. Firmino looking for somewhere to go, going to switch sides all the way over. Adiotukun have to wait up for the ball and sets it back down in the middle. Sofiane Jafal, one of these many familiar names. The championship was in San Antonio last season. They're going to play it all the way back to the keeper, Brooks Thompson. Thompson, another one of those names, has been thrust into that starting role over the last few matches. Settled in quite nicely as well. Long ball over the top, looking as that one just bounces harmlessly into the hands of Patrick Rakowski. And fans, the USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in the championship's Eastern Conference, as last season's final runner-up Rhode Island FC takes on the Northeast rival Hartford Athletic on Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern. That is on CBS. Long ball over the top. It's going to be a foot race as Colin Smith nearly got there, as Kieran Sargent just in time to get a foot and poke it out for the throw.
Well, that's well done from Colin Smith. I mentioned Joe Margarita providing some opportunities to attack 1v1 on that left side. There'll be opportunities for Colin Smith to get high and wide on that right side, with Charlie Dennis playing as that narrow winger who wants to come in on that left foot. Keep an eye on Colin Smith on the overlap throughout the evening.
A nice 1-2 play as Phoenix gets it back. Ryan Flood try and set up. He's going to be pressured. Medense as he gets the ball off the feet of Flood. Senge played all the way back to Rakowski. It's a Rising team, their last league match, it was that 4-1 defeat in Charleston, one of the top teams in the league. It's an exciting matchup as there's poke away and it'll roll out. Possession will stay with Phoenix, but that was a loss that snapped a 7-match unbeaten run in all competitions for this Phoenix Rising club, who they started off the year a little bit slow, trying to kind of understand the processes, kind of get things fully where Pamo Ducal wanted them, and they've certainly settled in nicely, and they are in a prime position right now in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and getting results like the game just before that Charleston loss, that 1-1 draw away in Tulsa, the third meeting between those two teams in 2025. It's always a hard thing to do, to play the same team 3 times in a season, the 2 regular season meetings and the U.S. Open Cup matchup as well. Phoenix Rising with that really solid result on the road, even if they would have wanted more. Still, though, as you can tell from that Charleston game, room to grow, and you can see the same in that 5-4 against Texoma.
Emmer's a bit too long for Dennis as they're trying to switch it to the far end. Numbers coming back up high to pressure this Lexington side. It's been mainly Phoenix in possession to start this match through the first 10 or so minutes. There is Terry Boss, the head man in his first year with Lexington, former assistant with Austin FC, 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year at Oregon State as well, helped guide that Oregon State program. Some new highs in his time there in Corvallis.
You love a good Pac-12 reference, Killian.
That's true. It's technically coming back, but it'll never be the same.
Gone but not forgotten.
That's true. This is not Bill Walton's Pac-12, I'll say.
No,
that.
It is not.
All laid back, Jafal waiting. I don't wait for anybody to come and help him out. Still standing there, and finally Aveyevu comes and pressures to get the ball off of his feet. Medense lets it bounce a couple times in front of him. Fredo Medense working on Flood. Centers that one. One touch. Nice little back heel to keep possession. Nicely done by Jafal. Firmino. Ridokun. Nice little back heel touch. Nice slide tackle coming in at the last moment to take that away was Colin Smith. Lexington wants the quick throw. One sent down. Epps gets his foot to it. Firmino headed up. Lexington trying to sustain their first bit of pressure this evening. This one crossed in, back post, and just too tall. As Zenge was there at the back post kind of all alone, but it was not to be made up of anything.
And we're seeing Lexington with a fair bit of the ball in this game, which is not what we saw from them in their last 2 matches against New Mexico United. Just 31% possession for this Lexington team in that 2-1 win, then just 41% in a 2-1 win over Colorado Springs last game in league play. Speaking with Terry Boss earlier this week, he wants this team to be a ball-dominant team, but it's also trying to instill the idea into this group that, hey, if we can go quickly, let's go quickly. So we're going to see this Lexington team, as they continue to evolve under Boss, become a team that can do a little bit of both, that can attack and transition through Ajago, through Medense, tucking inside off that right wing, or can be a team that's trying to do exactly what we're seeing now, of building from the back, setting up shop in the final third, and putting you under consistent pressure.
There's Medense. Tries to cut back into the center. Skierce gets a foot in, but can't take the ball away. This one played through Ajago. It's a foot race between him and Rakowski, and Rakowski springs out off of his line and slides in to scoop it up.
Well, if you ask Lexington, what does an ideal chance look like for this team, how would you draw it up? It might look a little something like this. Alfredo Medense, one of the top playmakers in USL League One last year, brought into this Lexington project. Silky smooth on the ball, a great through ball player as well. And Ajago, with his speed and frame, always a threat in behind. Medense and Ajago finding some early chemistry here.
Tables turned a little bit as Epps starting to pressure Asenge, and he's a little frustrated, wanting more numbers to get forward. As Lexington trying to press a little bit higher their own side now. Smith to take the throw. Toss it in, Formel, a little tug at the back of the kit. 4 orange jerseys, though, right around him as Lexington back with possession. Joe Hafferty. Over to Kendall Burks. This is a very experienced center back pairing as well for Lexington between Kendall Burks and Joe Hafferty, too. Burks in San Antonio, Hafferty in Las Vegas a season ago. Certainly will have their hands full this evening with one of the top scoring clubs in the championship, as there is Pa Moduka in his first season at the helm.
Now you're talking about scoring, Killian. Phoenix Rising right now 3rd in the USL Championship in goals per game. Pa Moduka talked earlier this week about some of the defensive struggles they've been having and said, yeah, if you concede a goal, then you got to go and score 2. And Phoenix Rising have adopted that mentality in 2025. Consistently dangerous moving forward. I am curious, though, to see what this front 3 is going to look like. Right? We haven't seen this look from the jump from Phoenix Rising this season. How does this Formella, Margarita, and Charlie Dennis trio end up combining as they work the ball upfield?
Yeah, it's one typically we've seen a lot more. We've seen Sacco, Margarita, and Formella. We've seen some form of combination of that. A lot of really Sacco and Margarita, and Sacco starting this evening on the bench. Ball played through, a bit of a poor time challenge. Medense going to stop and turn, gets it off of his feet, goes down, and ball played through, and official said he continued. It'll be a goal kick.
And that's great work yet again from Alfredo Medense, a real hub for this Lexington team in the attack. Gets on the ball here in zone 14, drawing so many bodies towards him just outside of Phoenix Rising's box. He is a danger man for this Lexington team with an interesting path this year as well, Killian. Signed by Lexington over the offseason, comes in, joins this team, then loaned out back to USL League One to play for the Charlotte Independents. Has a really good stretch of games there in League One and comes back into this Lexington team in the starting lineup. A really effective presence for them.
There's Margarita with a lot of space. He's going to hold up, give it off to Aveyevu. Swung over right wing, Dennis. Dennis gets it to his left foot. Aveyevu, little 1-2. Emmer's going to stop and elects to pull it out. A little frustration from that attacking crew for Phoenix. Thought they had an opportunity. As Emmer's little 1-2 with Asenge. This one chipped over the top. Long run if Smith can get there again. Smith crosses, nobody there over the face of goal. Margarita tries to come in. And a ball that just aimlessly floats through everybody. Carl Saint, the man to go pick it up. Emmers down low, got a foot in, nicely done from Burks. As Jafal played back to the back line. Poor pass, interception, Skierce. Now Margarita. Margarita on the edge of the 18. Going to send it back in the center. A dummy, Emmers. Pokes it back off his feet to Asenge. Smith. Smith laid forward. Nice slide challenge. And that one poked away by Sargent.
Just before that whole sequence plays out, you see Colin Smith making another dynamic run down that right side. Really good work from the Phoenix Rising right back to find that space around the edge of Kieran Sargent. Opportunities, though, for Phoenix Rising to crash the box. And when I'm talking about this front three working together well, one of the things that I'm wondering is how do they find that first runner, right? Darius Formella, more of a false nine than a true back-to-goal nine, oftentimes ends up as the accent runner, and Joe Margarita didn't make that run on the weak side either.
Aveyevu tried to sneak one through. He slips trying to get a foot to that ball. As Medense waiting and turning. Aveyevu does a nice job pressuring. Skierce wins it. Skierce back to Margarita. The pressure. Temperature continuing to poke up into the center, but right into the hands of Thompson, who does a nice job coming to take that one away.
And you can see Phoenix Rising trying to funnel play through Joe Margarita off of those turnovers. Margarita with an opportunity to go against who else? Joe Hafferty. And that is clever work from Sofiane Jafal to come back and double up on Joe Margarita in the absence of Xavier Zenge, who'd pushed higher up the field. Really smart adjustment there from Lexington.
Slip from Hafferty as Margarita was right on top of him. Sargent. This one played through, and it'll be out. Ball will remain with Lexington. And fans want to remind you that Phoenix Children's is the exclusive and official pediatric medical partner of Phoenix Rising. Phoenix Children provides expert care to children and their families, including primary and specialty care. Phoenix Children is bringing care closer to home. To learn more, visit phoenixchildrens.org. "20 minutes played in Phoenix, 0-0. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry. Wishing you a happy 4th from the Valley of the Sun. Zenge up supporting the attack. Lay it back through. Ajago took a tumble in the box as he gets back up to his feet. Firmino stops and turns, has to play it back. Sofiane Jafal. Skierce challenges, unable to win possession. Medense. Jafal stops and turns as he's pestered by Formella. Sargent, long run, he'll let it up. Diodekun. Sargent. Send back Kendall Burks.
Yeah, interesting, Killian. We're starting to see Sofiane Jafal drop into that back three. Almost as this right-sided center back at times in possession, so we can do exactly what we just saw.
Medense wants a shot at goal, but wide. An ambitious attempt.
Yeah, but it's that slipped ball from Jafal to find Medense between Phoenix Rising's lines that gives Medense the opportunity to fire off a shot in the first place. Not the look that Lexington would have drawn up there, but interesting adjustments early on in this first half to move Jafal back a line that allows Kieran Sargent on the left to push up a little bit higher, double up along with Michael Adedokan on Colin Smith. Lexington trying to evolve how they break through this Rising defensive block.
Senge send this one all the way to the other half as Burks chases it down. Sargent keeps a foot to it. Long run as Rakowski comes over to take it, sends it over. Carl Saint, another one of those members who returned from international duty. Was with the Haitian national team for the Gold Cup. Senge to Aveyevu. Aveyevu takes a knock from behind, and it'll be a free kick. As Aveyevu back up, little high five between he and Jafal.
And that's so good from Hope Aveyevu to give Phoenix Rising a chance to establish field position closer to that midfield stripe. I mean, he has been the most consistent attacking presence for this Phoenix Rising team in 2025. Leads the team in goal contributions, 4 goals, 5 assists. Has been so reliable and effective in the final third, but can also do the little things like moving the ball upfield, moving the chains, and helping Phoenix Rising settle a little bit here at home.
Played back to Thompson. Thompson will send it ahead, and it will go out for a throw to Phoenix. The USL is on ESPN2 on July 11th as West Coast rivals take to the pitch, fight for valuable Western Conference points. Monterey Bay FC battles California rival Orange County SC on Friday, July 11th, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Formella has that one taken away from behind. Firmino, now Medense with the ball on his feet. And he'll get it away all the way back to Burks.
And Dario Formella a little frustrated there that the run from Joe Margarita doesn't develop quicker. Margarita just a little indecisive there with his movement off the ball. Formella with a lot to do.
Xavier Zenge. Zenge laid ahead Medense, but nicely done from Saint coming over to get a foot and clear it away. Carl Saint, the man donning the captain's armband. And one appearance off the bench for that Haitian national team during their Gold Cup run.
And watch the long throw here from Kendall Burks. Lexington moving bodies into the box. Burks got a cannon.
Ryan Flood having a conversation, not necessarily sure what about exactly, but he's been in Elton Garcia's watch over the last few minutes. Setting up will be the long throw. This one played into the edge of the box. Aveyevu comes flying in, and Aveyevu takes a shot. And he'll be helped up, and it will be a free kick to Phoenix.
Yeah, and that's great work yet again from Hope Aveyevu to get his body between Alfredo Nick Firmino there, and the ball. Lexington with this set-piece routine off the throw and clearly designed play, trying to send runners down the end line and also across the horizontal 18-yard box there. Phoenix Rising do well to withstand that pressure.
Kowski gets this back going. Phoenix had a hard time getting any sort of possession themselves the last few minutes. It's been really all Lexington. Really all Rising's been able to do is kind of get the ball into the feet of one of the defenders and just send it deep to alleviate for a few moments.
Yeah, it's been a lot of direct play in possession from Phoenix Rising, which we've seen at times this year, right? You know, just under 50% possession on the season. Not one of the most ball-dominant teams in the league, but they do like to build at times with short passes. Still at home, they are trying to take advantage of the space in behind Lexington, looking to play into the physical Charlie Dennis and win those knockdowns. Mixed success so far.
Poor pass from Firmino as he wanted Yokun to be a little bit further up that left wing. Thumbs up. 71 in orange. Dennis weaves his way, gets around a couple defenders. Nice tackle. Set in and taken away. Rafferty. Margarita comes up to pressure. Flood gets ahead to it, sends it straight up as Emmers is going to have to wait for it. Epps leaps up, and now Skierce comes twirling in and wins the header.
And where Phoenix Rising have had some success tonight is forcing turnovers in the attacking half, and a lot of that credit goes to JP Skierce, who's done so well to clean up plays from the base of midfield. You saw it there, bailing out Sion Emmers a little bit, who doesn't have the same height of someone like Noble Akello that we've seen in that same spot earlier on this season.
Aveyevu, poor first touch. Lexington back with possession. Medense trying to go straight through. Here comes Rakowski, who was right there immediately. An opportunity for Ajago. Saint swings it over to Asenge. Dennis. Chip forward for Colin Smith, and it'll stay with Phoenix, a throw-in. Approaching a half an hour played. Still 0-0. Margarita keeps the touchdown, and a stoppage. Looks like Margarita played it out. Touch, so it was right here in front of us. Fall, swing on that one to the left wing. Hadiodekan. Go through as Smith does a nice job to get in front of that one and take it away.
Yeah, Colin Smith has been effective in those 1v1 defensive moments so far tonight. Michael Adedokun, this really speedy, electric winger on that left side. He is the width provider for this Lexington team. He's also been one of the most dynamic chance creators in his limited minutes so far in 2025. He's only got 4 starts this season for Terry Bots. Tonight marks his 5th, but he's 3rd in the USL Championship in expected assists per 90 minutes among those players with at least 400 minutes so far this season, ahead of Charleston's Juan Devi Torres and only behind 2 USL legends and Leo Fernandez and Roro Lopez down in Sacramento. Adedokun is a real threat, and Colin Smith's done a great job so far tonight dealing with his 1v1 ability.
A cheeky bit of play there from Firmino and Midense is a little free kick. Take it quickly. Epps gets that one in stride, trying to get around Asenge, who has to hold up, keeps it. Ajago, Midense, quick one-touch passing. Zenge pops it up a little bit high, and now Flood gets a shove, and it will be a free kick as Zenge, who's trying to argue a handball on Flood. Seeing Lexington trying to target this right side for Phoenix a little bit more in the last 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, and they're looking to find opportunities on either wing. Whether it is Alfredo Midense over on this right side, as you see that lovely through ball to find Xavier Zenge. The ball coming in certainly does seem to collide there. Ryan Flood sticking out his hand.
I think the area might have been, you saw that left hand of Flood kind of fly forward towards the ball just a little bit. Obviously tough to tell from this angle. Certainly might not be a wrong gripe there from Xavier Zenge.
And the shove from Zenge comes after. Ryan Flood certainly does appear to make contact with that left hand. Phoenix Rising may have been let off easy there.
An opportunity, Aveyevu. Hemmers back to Hope Aveyevu. Flood with the ball to Drew Margarita. Margarita back to the center. Skier's good turn. Keep possession. Swings all the way to Smith. Smith gets his head, lays off for Dennis. Dennis going to stop at the edge of the 18. Back to Smith. Smith. Margarita. Margarita. Margarita! Just too tall for Drew Margarita.
Well, that's Phoenix Rising's best bit of possession play tonight. Working the ball from left to right and then from right back to the center. It's Joe Margarita who helped start that switch from left to right in the first place. And it's his clever maneuvering. Opts to take that left-footed shot instead of laying the ball off to CN Emmers. Phoenix Rising, though, showing some much-needed signs of life here in a big home game.
Headed down right towards midfield. Midense. Adidokun laid back. Firmino to Jafal.
And there's another line breaker from Sofiane Jafal. Phoenix Rising have not had answers for Jafal dropping deeper and splitting their lines.
Margarita helping double back in defense. Nicely done from Drill Margarita. Aveyevu has to wait up. A little bit of a collision. Albidense. Chance potentially for Lexington. Adidokun. Right-footed shot! 1-0 Lexington. Michael Adidokun.
Oh, and there's the danger that the Nigerian brings on that left side. On loan in Lexington. So effective with his speed, his ability to create space in those wide areas. Sizes up Colin Smith. Just cuts it inside on the right foot. Sion Emmers can't step over quickly enough. And the ball's in the back of Patrick Krakowski's net. Great play from Michael Adidokun, and it's 1-0 to the visitors.
First goal on the year. Came in from CF Montreal. Was drafted out of Dayton. And it's all high fives for the first goal. For the Nigerian Michael Adidokun. 33 minutes in, and the visitors have a lead.
And what a find he's been, Adidokun, by this Lexington team. Brought in earlier in the season, works his way to becoming a consistent presence on that left side, and he has been such a threat. I mentioned that expected assist number earlier on today. You can see it when you watch the tape. You can see it when you talk to folks in and around Lexington. He has been a real danger man for them on that left side. Hasn't gotten the same publicity as someone like Forster Ajago.
All sorts of collisions down. Bouncing around, still all over the place. Not out of danger just yet, as Asenge, who took a hard shot, was still down on the ground. Alfredo Medense comes to collect. Aveyevu trying to help out in defense. Medense can't find his way around Aveyevu, who's doing a great job defensively. Still fighting off, and Aveyevu ultimately wins that battle. And ball will stay with Phoenix.
And for Phoenix Rising, with 10 minutes plus stoppage time left to be played in this first half, you see some of the fight here from Marcelo Senge and the chaotic sequence that follows. Curious to see how this Rising team responds. Right? Haven't shown a whole lot in terms of danger in possession in this game. Some opportunities against the ball. You saw that Joe Margarita shot just a minute or two ago. They have a huge opportunity to respond here, get back into the game against a Lexington team that has outplayed them in the early stages.
Well, this is a Phoenix team. They've been very good at the end of halves in scoring goals. There's a quick conversation there between Elton Garcia and a couple of Lexington defenders. There's now a heavy collision between two. 6 goals for Rising in the final 15 minutes as Jafal is down holding his head.
The back of Sofiane Jafal's head. Still on the ground. The Lexington midfielder has been so effective for them so far tonight. In possession, also helping track back defensively to deal with Joe Margarita. Now getting looked at by the trainer.
They're taking their time. Certainly want to make sure everybody's okay. It was Hope Aveyevu, the two that collided. Aveyevu is up on his feet as the two sides will come over and get some water. As Jafal now sitting up, which is a good sign to see. First couple fireworks firing off in the background of Phoenix as the sun setting here on this 4th of July.
Just missed the timing there on the Michael Adidokun goal. Can't win them all. Can't win them all.
Just off. As they're wrapping up a quick little hydration break, fans, want to introduce you to the ultimate match day deal from Phoenix Rising. It's the family 4-pack. Enjoy 4 tickets, 4 entrees, 4 chips, and 4 waters or sodas, all for just $100. Bring your family and experience an unforgettable night of soccer. Get your family 4-pack now at phxrisingfc.com. We are Phoenix Rising, Todos Rojos. So Avievu and Jafal both back up, waiting to be let back onto the pitch. Now Joel Margarita going to come over and try to make the argument. Says, this is our ball, correct? Didn't win that argument, as Lexington back with possession, a 1-0 advantage as we approach the final few minutes of this first half. 6 goals, outscoring opponents in the final 15 minutes of the first half. 6-3 this season is a chance. Bit too long for Avievu. He couldn't get there as Haffer did a nice job to double back. As Dennis, helping in defense, earns his side a free kick, or a throw-in. He's thought about taking it. He'll wait. Colin Smith going to be the man to come and pick it up. Flood taken down to the ground by Bedense, as Bedense helping Flood up after the 2 tangle. First 10 or so minutes of this match, Joe, it felt like Phoenix, they got off to a good start, applying some pressure. Had a few opportunities, didn't really make much of those chances. But really, since that 15-ish minute mark, it's really been all Lexington the rest of this first half.
Well, it has been, and it's not as if Lexington have created chance after chance, right? On balance, both of these teams have not had a ton of clear-cut looks in the final third, in and around the 18. It's the shot from Adedokun that is completely changing the balance of this game. But Rising have not had control, Killian, which is what you're getting at for the last 30 minutes or so of this game. And even in the opening stages, their opportunities, their turnovers forced high up the field, their possession in those areas comes from pressing, right? Comes from turning the ball over at the edge of Lexington's final third, and in possession it comes from playing those long balls over the top. Phoenix have to find some solutions to build through midfield, to take a little bit of the sting out of this game, to take Lexington off the ball, and also to unlock Hope Avievu, who is the single biggest difference maker for this Rising squad and has not had the opportunities on the ball tonight.
Senge to Saint. Been a lot of this tonight, the pressure from Lexington. Causing some troubles for Phoenix. Can't really get out and go anywhere. As Avievu gets a touch to it, here's a chance as he crosses midfield. Avievu, he's got Emmers through. He's going to play a ball, but too far. As Formella going to try earn himself a corner, but not there. As fans want to remind you, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
And you saw on that through ball, the attempted one to Darius Formella from Hope Avievu. That's one of the downsides to Formella playing as the 9 for this team. Just doesn't have the sort of straight line speed that you might get from an Isan Sacco or Remy Cabral, who's out injured tonight, or a Darius Johnson in his minutes centrally. Does not have the wheels to get on the end of a pass like that from Avievu.
Turnover, Margarita gets it off of his feet, leaps over Jafal, who's on the ground. Formella, sneaky little ball over to Dennis. Dennis wants to get to his left foot, elects to lay off for Smith. Smith tries to cross in, deflected down and out and away. Potential run now on the counter. There's the goal scorer. As he has to just stop and turn and lay it up.
Yeah, Charlie Dennis in that last sequence looking for an opportunity to get the ball on that wand of a left foot. He's been itching to strike the ball and really put his laces through it. Lexington, though, doing so well to get numbers back behind the ball and congest space on their left, Phoenix's right.
There's Epps, who gets it away quickly. Back for Sargent. Burks, the man right in the middle of that back line. Gives it off for Brooks Thompson. Thompson, a Jeffersonville, Indiana native, making his 4th start on the year. That came through the Sporting KC Academy, signing a homegrown contract with them before ultimately spending some time with Philadelphia Union. Spent last season with Spokane Velocity. As long shot and wide. They look for Lexington trying to double their advantage.
Kieran Sargent firing off that warning shot. Lexington having so much success playing through Phoenix Rising's press. Doubling up Hope Aveyevu as that number 10 in the 4-2-3-1 press. Finding space on either side of Aveyevu and then breaking into the pockets through Medense, as you're seeing here.
Medense thought about going, elects to stop, go 1-2 with Firmino. Didakun trying to get around Smith. Keeps possession still. Weaving his way around and loses possession. Will be a throw to the hosts.
One of the things, Killian, is Pamudaka on the sidelines right now with his coaching staff undoubtedly thinking about some tweaks they can make at halftime to help their side get back into this game. Would not be a shock to me if the pressing structure for Phoenix Rising shifts a little bit, where instead of having Hope Aveyevu isolated 1v2 against Nick Firmino and Sofiane Jafal in those build-up moments for Lexington, maybe you get Sian Emmers pushing forward a little bit and you bump one of the center backs, Asela Senge, forward up a line to deal with Marcus Epps, allowing Phoenix to press more numbers higher up the field. That's where their revenues come from tonight.
Nice win from Emmers. He tries to make a run. Margarita elects not to take it. Phoenix will try and start pushing some numbers forward as we approach 45 played in this first half. Expecting it'll be 2 minutes of stoppage time added on, as Smith can't keep it in. As the board goes up here officially, it will indeed be 2 minutes. Rafferty over to Burks. Lexington seems very content to take this into the halftime break. Margarita tries to step in front, pressuring, and a chase down Hafferty as Hafferty just has to get away. Margarita takes the quick throw in. Saint back to the center. Flood for Margarita. Margarita hasn't had much space to operate on that left side tonight either. Switching sides. Smith gets a foot to it. Played through Formella with his back to goal. Formella, poor pass in behind Emmers, intercepted. Ermai Bedense.
And that is one thing, though, that pass from Carl Saint that Phoenix Rising need more of in the second half. Is more of the switches of play. If you cast your mind back to that Joe Margarita shot earlier on in this half, it comes from a switch of play that moves the ball from left to right. Lexington defending in this narrow 4-4-2 structure. There are opportunities for Phoenix Rising to take what they're being given, which is the space in the outer side. Keep an eye on Phoenix as they try to push the ball from one wing to another quicker in the second 45.
Mistake from Thompson as he passed it to nobody. And a throw in a dangerous spot for Phoenix. Margarita is going to wait up for Flood to come over, and Phoenix thought they were going to set something up, but there's the halftime whistle. So nothing there for Phoenix. It's 1-0 Lexington on the goal for Michael Adedokun. And that is the difference as we stand. Don't go anywhere. We got halftime from Phoenix coming up.
Looking for power, performance, and pure luxury? Look no further than Coulter Buick GMC Tempe. Right now, drive off in a brand new GMC Sierra 1500, Hummer EV, or Sierra EV. Whether you're cruising in comfort or hauling with confidence, Buick and GMC have the style and strength to match your lifestyle. So come shop our new Buick and GMC inventory with outstanding factory offers and exceptional dealer incentives at Coulter Buick GMC Tempe. Experience the difference.
When you choose Arizona Sports Medicine Center, you have access to one of the Valley's most advanced sports medicine and orthopedic care teams.
You're choosing a multidisciplinary team who are dedicated to providing the care you need.
That's why we offer advanced treatments, both surgical and non-surgical options, including robotic-assisted procedures.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, a sports injury, or need rehab after surgery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love to do.
Care is more than just treatment. It's a journey we take together.
There's satisfaction in sacrifice, in spilling blood, sweat, and tears, in knowing that you left it all on the floor and never threw in the towel. Well, except to clean up the mess. Giving it all for your team is worth every drop. Modelo, brewed for fans with a fighting spirit.
Oh, Waymo's here.
The what?
The Waymo.
What's a Waymo?
There you go.
It's driving itself.
You're okay. It's driving itself.
It's driving itself.
It's driving itself.
How does it do this?
Magic.
Todos rojos. It's more than a color. Es comunidad. It's a state of mind. It means we rise together. Stronger, louder, prouder. Like a phoenix from the fire, we overcome. And we all know smoke rises.
They are brothers, but they are little brothers. Slap them tonight, all right? Stick together, come on. Hey, what was the call there, Edwin? This is our house.
Back in. This is Circle K halftime. 1-0 Lexington SC on top of Phoenix Rising here in the Valley of the Sun on the 4th of July. The fireworks popping off all around as red, white, and blue scoring challenge goes on the pitch. Don't go anywhere. We're going to continue on with halftime when we come back.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water unique? It's our commitment to making our bottles from at least 50% recycled plastic. In fact, Crystal Geyser is the only beverage company in the U.S. to exclusively own and operate 2 plastic recycling facilities. And you can help us make an impact too by always remembering to recycle your bottles. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Simple, but not easy.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
And it's off to the races for Monterey Bay. The floor set. Ward takes the shot. A banger to put Orange County up
3-1. We're diving in.
Phoenix! 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 Woo! Out of here. I'm out.
Phoenix! Phoenix!
Tonight's broadcast of Phoenix Rising FC is presented by Carvana, ASMC, and America First Credit Union. Shot here on the 4th of July. Everybody knows our moon talk. I couldn't tell you what that one is.
Just always say Gibbous.
Always say Gibbous. Okay. Joe Lowry, moon expert. 1-0 Lexington. We'll stop talking about the moon. We'll actually give you some scores from around the USL Championship, something of actual relevance potentially to you. Here's the out of town. A 0-0 between Charleston and Birmingham. Pittsburgh taking away a 1-0 victory over the top in the West, New Mexico United. New Mexico kind of been stuck there right around 25 points for a while now. San Antonio wins the Copa Tejas 2-1 over El Paso Locomotive. And then one other game going on right now. It's a 0-0 between Las Vegas and FC Tulsa. It's Louisville City continuing to just be dominant in the Eastern Conference. Got some of the fireworks here on the 4th of July. Little red, white, and blue. Certainly been exciting night. 1-0 Lexington on top as we have some of your news and notes from around the USL Championship as Oakland Roots officially secure their training headquarters. A long-term extension. The training facility for the former Oakland A's is double-triple. How about that? Albert Dikwa and Charlie Dennis both coming away with hat tricks in the Jägermeister Cup last week. And then the Charleston Battery, seems like the rich just keep getting richer. Jeremy Kelly, a multi-year contract from League One Crawley Town as they add to the already dangerous crew up there in Charleston.
Yeah, Kelly's an excellent addition. We saw Rubio Rubin up top for Guatemala in their Gold Cup run. Really, really impressive run for them, meeting the U.S. in the semifinals. Jeremy Kelly, another late addition to this Battery team. Former Phoenix Rising player, Jeremy Kelly.
Another one. Well, fireworks going off. Don't go anywhere. Circle K halftime continues. We'll be back on the other side of this break.
And now, everybody who's fueled by your local Circle K. There's flower shop owners, neighborhood bakers, awesome food truck sandwich makers, gearheads, mighty motorheads, farmers and their farmsteads, life-saving physicians and headbanging musicians, that guy who helps you change your spare, and rock star nurses. Hey. The people we rely on every day are fueled by Circle K every single day. Fueled by Circle K.
When you choose Arizona Sports Medicine Center, you have access to one of the Valley's most advanced sports medicine and orthopedic care teams.
You're choosing a multidisciplinary team who are dedicated to providing the care you need.
That's why we offer advanced treatments, both surgical and non-surgical options, including robotic-assisted procedures.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, a sports injury, or need rehab after surgery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love to do.
Care is more than just treatment. It's a journey we take together.
Billy, I need help with the clicker.
Yeah, one second, Grandma. This guy's gonna buy my car.
Billy, you still there?
Okay,
You need Carvana. What's your plate number?
Boss, M-O-V.
Vehicle features, no accidents, right?
No.
Good. Generating offer. Carvana can pick it up tomorrow.
That's an amazing offer.
So, do you still need help with the clicker?
I'll ask your sister.
Sell your car the easy way with Carvana.
Hey, just a reminder that me and some friends are headed to the credit card bill tomorrow.
Again, I hate that you're always going to the credit card. Why can't you stay here and do things with us?
You don't generate the same interest. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Get your money working and keep more of it at home with 0% interest for 6 months on new Visa credit cards at America First.
Back in Phoenix, 1-0 Lexington on top of Phoenix Rising here at the halftime. Circle K halftime report. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry, thanks for spending some of your fourth with us here this evening as we got some of the first half highlights for you from tonight, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And really, it was kind of slow chugging along. A few opportunities here and there, really kind of created off of some turnovers from both sides.
Yeah, and Lexington just a little sloppy in their own third to start this game. They do, though, get their foothold back into the match to start to combine on the outside areas. You can see Kieran Sargent there trying to overload Colin Smith.
There's Alfredo Medense. He's been a really big part of this match here tonight, trying to lay through some openings. Forster Jago hasn't really been able to get too involved in this match so far. But again, it was mainly Lexington controlling possession.
Well, and Lexington have done a really good job when they haven't had the ball on Joe Margarita, who's been trying to go and attack 1v1, even 1v2 at times. Much like Michael Adedokun had some success with on the goal sequence. Just see the quick ball movement here from Lexington, working it side to side, something we didn't see a lot from Phoenix Rising in the first 45. And Adedokun has been such a bright spot for Terry Boss's outfoot, getting the ball on that right foot and putting it into the back of Pat Rakowski's net.
First goal on the year for the Nigerian international, as here are your first half stats. Again, nothing really leaning heavily on two sides, obviously, except for the scoreline being 1-0.
Yeah, sometimes that's how this sport is, right? It's a high-variance sport. It's a low-scoring sport, which means you end up in a lot of high-variance games. Still, I don't want to fully discredit Lexington. Yeah, they haven't had a lot of golden chances. Jago, a player we highlighted in the open, just 7 touches, a game low so far, looking at both teams. But they have had some opportunities, and more than opportunities, they've controlled the game. You can see it on your screen now. They have the possession edge, and after they got through a few of those early turnovers in their own third, they've had a lot of success at times building through Phoenix Rising's press to get the ball into someone like Alfredo Medense or Michael Adedokun over wide on that left side. Lexington have controlled this game tonight on the road in the USL Championship. That is no easy feat.
It certainly isn't. We were talking a little bit at the break, and this is, a special one for you being a tactics nerd, a self-proclaimed one,
Very
but
much so.
You're loving this one.
Yeah, there haven't been a lot of clear-cut opportunities in both boxes, but this has been a chess match of sorts between two teams that very much have an identity. And speaking with Terry Boss earlier this week, he talked about a little bit of maybe a micro-evolution in his team where, yes, they want to be able to play in transition, but they still want to be a possession-dominant outfit. And that's what we saw out of the gates from Lexington. That's how they fueled their early results this season. Then you have the 11-game winless run, and all of a sudden your resolve starts to get tested. Lexington did make some changes. They start to be more willing to attack on the break. But tonight we are seeing them come out to the Valley of the Sun and get on the ball and play through Phoenix, whether that's with their 3-2 build, whether that's dropping Sofyan Jafal back next to Kendall Burks or next to Joe Hafferty and pushing the outside backs up a little bit. We're seeing these little changes from Lexington, and Phoenix Rising in the second half have to find ways to adapt to get a foothold on this game. And really, I think, to unleash Hope Aveabu in midfield. They've been bypassing midfield quite often, Phoenix Rising tonight.
Yeah, we mentioned a little bit kind of transitioning a tad, that international break. Phoenix Rising, plenty of international players. Joe Margarita with Curacao, Carl Saint with Haiti, and Darius Johnson with Grenada. All three there. Margarita, 3 starts there in the Gold Cup. He was big in the World Cup qualifiers, helping push Curacao to the next stage as they try to make their first World Cup. Carl Saint, an appearance in the Gold Cup as he was able to go on there. Haiti, a short-lived run in the group stage, but certainly tried. They will also be playing in the fall in the next window, trying to make their World Cup dreams come true. And then Darius Johnson, he was big for Grenada in qualifiers, 2 goals during his time there.
And even adding to that list, Damian Rivera at the Gold Cup with Guatemala did not feature for Guatemala at the tournament. Potentially still dealing with a little something for Phoenix Rising and for Guatemala as well, but was on the bench, Killian, for that big upset win in the Gold Cup quarterfinals against Canada. That gave Guatemala the chance to match up with the hosts, the United States, in the semis in St. Louis. That crowd fantastic at Energizer Park. A really, really fun game and a great experience this summer for winger Damian Rivera.
It certainly is a great experience for everybody overall, and it's special seeing the Gold Cup here in the States, seeing the show out for a lot of those matches. Saw the USA game against Guatemala in St. Louis, an absolutely electric atmosphere for that match that saw the U.S. push themselves to the Gold Cup final. As do have one change, as Gael Guibert is the man entering into this match. He took over for Xavier Zengue. So Guibert, the French international, spent last season the MLS Next Pro level with FC Cincinnati 2. He is into the match, and we are back underway in Phoenix for the second 45. No changes coming out of the break for Pa Moduka after that first half. His nice little back heel flick as Emmers tries to get away. Margarita has to come back and chase it. Any surprise at all? No changes, at least in terms of the personnel from Pa?
Yeah, some opportunities to make some of those swaps at halftime. Pa Moduka has not made a ton of those halftime swaps so far this season. Doesn't shock me that he wants to wait a little bit, 10-15 minutes, to see if the half can change it all, because there are some principle-based changes that could come from this team. Moving the ball more quickly, horizontally. But make no mistake, if Phoenix Rising don't have a lot of progress in possession, I do fully expect that we'll see an Isan Sako or a Darius Johnson off the bench sooner than later.
Emmers can't chest the ball down to himself as he fights with Firmino. Aveevu comes over to try and help out. Yeah, I mentioned Isan Sako did not start tonight. He is available off the bench, as well as Darius Johnson. Be surprised, especially if the scoreline remains the way it is, to not see one or both of them at some point in this second 45. Sargent gets it over to the goal scorer, Michael Adedokun. There's Burks. He's trying to pressure the same way they did to start the match. See if they can't create a few more opportunities. A lot of room up this left wing as Adedokun can't keep possession. Ball got stuck in behind him just a little bit. Slowed that run. Firmino pressed through. As Jago asks, try and chase down. Asenge can just get it, tap it spinning away. It'll be a throw to Lexington.
And Asela Asenge and Carl Saint have done a really good job on Forster Jago. Just 7 touches in the first half. That is the low for the game so far. Has had opportunities to spin in behind, but Phoenix Rising with some speed and athleticism, especially in Asenge, have done a good job taking Jago off his game.
See if Lexington wants to set up for another one of those long throws. They elect not to. Poked around a couple times. It'll be off of Lexington throw to Phoenix.
As we see Phoenix Rising shift into their possession phase, Terry Boss for Lexington has made this a taller task for Phoenix Rising to get back into this game with that substitution of Gael Gibert coming on the field. He's now shifting next to Kendall Burks in the middle of this back line for Lexington. Joe Hafferty, who started this game as a center back on the right side, shifting over to Xavier Zenge's position. Hafferty, a much more defensive-minded player than Zenge, giving Lexington another body along that back line.
Dennis tries to chip that one overhead for Emmers, as it looks like it will be a corner. One for Phoenix, so just the second corner kick of the night for either side coming up. Second Carvana corner kick. Carvana, proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising, will drive you happy.
And it'll be Charlie Dennis with the in-swinger with his left foot. Phoenix Rising opted to go short on that first corner kick in the first 45. Dennis has got some trees to aim for inside the 18.
Got Flood weaving around in there. Formella, Saint, and Asenge as well. Dennis sends this one in, looking for Asenge, who got his head to it, but unable to get it down on target.
Well, that strong delivery from Charlie Dennis is a huge part of his value proposition to this Phoenix Rising group. Has not showed a lot in open play so far tonight. Just 16 touches in the first half. Second lowest among Phoenix Rising's attacking group and across the whole outfield players as well. Behind Darius Formella. Opportunities for Dennis to get more involved in this game.
Sargent just flies that one in deep as Saint doubles back, and he'll play it back to the keeper, in Rakowski. Rakowski for Colin Smith. Smith had an active first half, both defensively and trying to help out in attack, as Emmers' poor pass right to the feet of Adedokun. I'll press it all the way back for Burks.
Man, Sian Emmers has been quiet tonight in his first ever start here at 38th in Washington. Arrived last month from the top flight in Romania, formerly in the Inter Milan system. A lot of European experience, and you can see his tempo and how he plays is quick. He wants to get on the ball and move it quickly. That's something that Phoenix Rising need more of in this second half. Emmers, though, has not been incredibly sharp in his touches tonight.
Ball thrown back in from the crowd. Fan thought they might have gone home with something there. Ball played back to Thompson. Little stumble trying to come back to the ball. Has right out, and now Phoenix with a chance. Throw into Margarita. And that one immediately given right back. A chance on the counterattack. Numbers are for Lexington. Epps has to wait up for it. Adedokun. He's already got one goal. Adedokun cuts inside, lays off. Emmers does a good job, though, defensively to help quell that attack. And now Aveyevu shouldering off the pressure, still with the ball at his feet. Aveyevu not happy that it wasn't continued, as he takes it quickly. Aveyevu, despite that small frame, shifty with the ball at his feet. Some space now to Aveyevu. Juro Margarita working on Hafferty. Margarita's got Aveyevu behind him and lays it off for him. And he'll just chip that one off the leg of Hafferty. Will be a throw.
And you see there again, Sofian Jafal shifting wider on that right side to go and double up along with Joe Hafferty to deal with Juro Margarita. Such heady defending for number 3 in orange tonight.
Skeers will take the throw, and he'll play it all the way back to Asenge. Ball played through. Aveyevu. Aveyevu tries to cut inside. Formella. Formella, right-footed shot, just fell back a bit too far and unable to get it on target, as Aveyevu, a little frustrated, thought he took some contact right at the edge of the box.
Yeah, you can see Darius Formella still unsure why that doesn't go Phoenix Rising's way. You do see Formella and Hope Aveyevu, though, more intentional with their combination play there. Formella a couple times now in the first 7 minutes of this second half, dropping more quickly off the line to get on the ball between the lines for Lexington to get touches and turn and play forward and do so many of the false nine things that he does so well, which didn't quite see enough of that Palmudikov from Darius Formella in the first half.
Sargent trying to get a little too fancy with the ball at his feet. Had Dennis right in front of him. Jago tries to chest it forward. The idea was there. Couldn't get it through, though. Looking for Medense. Asenge, he's pressured by Epps, as Epps keeping it in 5th gear the whole way, as Rakowski sends one deep in behind. Nothing there. It'll roll out. And soccer season is here. And SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. There's Darius Johnson. First man out of the dugout for Phoenix as he readies to come onto the pitch. Emmers takes that one away. Smith coming to support the run. Smith going to have to stop and turn, and played back to Asenge. Looking like Johnson going to be coming on for Charlie Dennis at the next opportunity.
Well, that's a move, Killian, that you and I talked about as a possibility for this Rising group, where so much of their success in the first half came via those direct balls over the top to Colin Smith. They did try to find Charlie Dennis on one of those balls, but didn't have quite enough sustained possession higher up the field to maximize Dennis and his more stationary playmaking. Enter Darius Johnson, who's going to provide a lot more dynamism on that right side, trying to blow past Kieran Sargent on the left for Lexington.
So Dennis will end his 54-minute shift, and Darius Johnson will take over for the Englishman. Back underway. Johnson entering. It'll be his 11th appearance on the year, goal and an assist in league play. Long ball over the top in stride for Margarita. Took a little bit of a deflection, came right back down to his feet. Margarita cuts back to his left, chipped in, looking for Johnson, a little back heel around. It was off the defender, and Thompson was right there on top of it. Dangerous moment for Lexington.
Yeah, and Phoenix create that danger via the switch from Asela Senge to find Joe Margarita, who does so well to threaten on that left side. Phoenix, when they move the ball quicker horizontally, are finding some opportunities here.
Now a Lexington player down, as there's one more look at that chance. Yeah, Sargent he leapt up to twirl and try to clear it, and it just kind of took a funky deflection off the back heel as Marcus Epps is the man down in the center of the pitch for Lexington. Looks like Carl Saint also taking a seat on the far side for Phoenix. They'll come and take a look at Epps. Warmer night here in Phoenix, certainly not as hot as it could be on the 4th of July. We're just sitting right around 100 as Epps try to stretch him out a little bit.
And to go all the way back to that dangerous moment for Phoenix Rising, it's Darius Johnson crashing the box, and you called it out, Killian. It's Kieran Sargent making a little bit of a meal out of that clearance. That's the second time tonight that we've seen Sargent kind of discombobulated as service comes his way. We saw it on a Darius Formella pass out wide right in the first half where Sargent has an opportunity to make a play on that ball, and it slips by him. We see Darius Johnson coming onto the field now. There are opportunities for Phoenix Rising to target Kieran Sargent. It would not surprise me to see more of Darius Johnson running in behind the left back and for them to try to play balls into his position inside the 18 when Phoenix have more sustained bits of possession.
Looks like a bit of cramping there for Marcus Epps, and it looks like it is going to conclude his evening tonight as Speedy Williams starting to loosen up on this Lexington side. Epps slowly making his way off. Certainly hope it is nothing more than just some cramping there for Epps.
That's another more defensive-minded sub from Terry Boss. We saw the Jabert sub for Xavier Zenge, adding an extra pure defender on the field for a high-flying outside back. Speedy Williams, very much a defensive-minded midfielder, where Marcus Epps sort of a forward, second forward, left-sided number 10 in this 3-2-5 possession setup for Lexington. Speedy Williams will add another number a little bit deeper downfield. Curious to see if that changes the shape or if we see Nick Firmino maybe pop up in that left half space in Marcus Epps' spot. It looks like that might be what we see certainly on the defensive side for Lexington in their 4-4-2.
So Williams will come on his 282nd career championship appearance since he came in 2015. Grew up in Kingston, Jamaica. Ended up moving to the States in college to go play at Robert Morris outside of Pittsburgh. As Adedokun. Ball played through. Opportunity, Medense tries to cross it back through, but Asenge is there. Asenge hesitates and just cleared away. Real danger now, potential on the counterattack. Johnson coming back. He's got two men. He's got Margarita behind him. Johnson wants to take it himself. He's going to have to wait up, get it off for Margarita. Joe Margarita, right-footed shot. Margarita just too wide. It's a glass case of emotions for Phoenix Rising from one end to the other.
Yeah, how's that for some end-to-end action? It's Michael Adedokun who gets things started on the other side for Lexington. The goal scorer in the first half, the real danger man in this game for Lexington. It's such a well-weighted through ball from Adedokun and a last-ditch defensive effort from Phoenix Rising. And then Hope Aveevu through balling the other direction looking for Darius Johnson, who gets involved really for the first time tonight.
Emmers loses possession there. Adedokun coming right back. Emmers takes him to ground. You're going to keep playing the advantage and save one-handed, sticking it out strong from Rakowski as Ajago gets his first look on goal tonight.
And again, Michael Adedokun involved for Lexington. This game continuing to get stretched. That's a heads-up bit of center forward play there from Foster Ajago, who keeps that play alive. And a great save from Pat Rakowski getting down to his left.
Phoenix trying to go quickly. As now it's Formella. Formella pressed ahead. Margarita trying to cross it through for Johnson, who slipped. Thompson was there. He got a hand to it. Grab the ketchup and mustard quickly and hustle back to the sofa.
Yet another opportunity for Phoenix Rising. This game getting more and more stretched. It's Joe Margarita looking for Darius Johnson, and Phoenix are back at it.
Here comes Smith now on the edge of the 18. Working on Sargent. Smith keeps it in. Did not go out the back, so they'll continue playing. Adedokun going to stop and turn, switch sides. Modense to the center, Firmino. Adedokun, a lot of room to his left if he wants it. Firmino walks it up. Adedokun, the lone goal scorer tonight, working one-on-one. Adedokun stops, gets it to his left foot. Going against a Senge as that one chipped around. As Saint going to play it out. Now here's Aveyevu. Aveyevu hesitates, and Emmers has to come and help out. Aveyevu looked just a little bit kind of in no man's land there for at least a half second. Poor pass right to the feet of Jafal.
Man, you can see Speedy Williams just recycling possession there, trying to get his side to take a breath. If you're Terry Boss, you're sweating bullets on the sidelines right now. You make a couple of changes along the defensive side of things. You want to really shore this game up. You don't want it to be as stretched as it is right now. Phoenix Rising trailing a goal. Much happier to see this game go end to end.
Johnson with the hands in the air. He had a great run up this right wing, and Smith just didn't see him. Flood going to stop and step over. Played back Carl Saint. An hour played in Phoenix, 1-0. Thanks to Michael Adedokun goal in the 33rd. As Johnson, physical challenge there as he sent Sargent straight down to the ground. As now Sargent is a little slow to get up, and Johnson going to get a quick talking to.
Yeah, it's great positioning there from Kieran Sargent, who's not been flawless tonight, but does so well to draw that contact from Darius Johnson, who's frustrated that he hasn't been involved more when you factor in the quality of his off-ball runs. Johnson then taking some of that frustration out on the 22-year-old defender.
And Johnson still being talked to by Elton Garcia. Sort of establishing, hey, we can't be doing that. Certainly one way, the veteran in Darius Johnson saying, hey, I'm here now. This is how it's going to be.
And you can see Johnson hungry to make an impact on this game. It's been an up and down season for Darius Johnson, dealing with some injuries at times this season. Not unique to him, certainly in this Phoenix Rising squad, but so many bodies for those front three positions in Pa Mudaka's system. Johnson doesn't make the start tonight. Charlie Dennis now back and fit and really competing for minutes in that part of the field as well. Johnson sees an opportunity to impact this game and is certainly hungry to do so.
Flood somehow keeps that in on the touchline. Works his way around the defender, sent towards the center, tried a little back heel flick. There's nobody there, though, for Phoenix off of Formella. Margarita, he's trying to pressure, force a mistake. So Adedokun tries to switch ends. Flood chests it down to Skeers. A 5-minute stretch where everybody was running forwards, backwards, left, right, diagonally, any other direction you can potentially think of. Smith takes that quick throw to a Senge. Emmers right back to him. Flood played through for Margarita, who took a little bit of a shove from behind, has to just recycle it. Ball gonna hang up. Smith keeps it in. Adedokun, poor pass, intercepted right in the middle by Skeers. Here comes Emmers. Emmers, layoff for Johnson. Johnson a step over, trying to get it towards the center, and he does. 1-2, try to feed through. Johnson goes down, and nothing there, much to the chagrin of the home crowd. It was Burks who was in defense, got a piece of Johnson, but not enough there.
Yeah, you'll catch it on the replay here. Darius Johnson goes down quite easily there. Kendall Burks quick to get his finger up in the air and say no, no, no. That's a good no call from the referee.
Been a tough ball for Johnson to get, even if he did stay on his feet. And it looked like it was destined to go out for a goal kick no matter what.
And you could see on that run as well, it's Formella that tries to find Johnson, but then there's nobody inside the box waiting for a potential cutback, from Darius Johnson on that right side. Phoenix Rising, with their group of attackers tonight, have struggled to get numbers crashing the box to get on the ball from those primary assists.
You throw to Phoenix, and speaking of Phoenix, Rising and Modelo have teamed up to offer the ultimate game night experience. For just $20, you can get one ticket and one 24-ounce Modelo to elevate your game night. Don't forget and don't miss out on this special offer. Get your tickets today and cheer on Phoenix Rising. Buy now at phxrisingfc.com. We are Phoenix Rising, Todos Rojos. Avayevu chipped that one, looking for the back post for Smith, who just has to turn and just throw a foot towards the ball, but unable to get anything to it. Brooks Thompson. It was a relatively quiet first 45 for him, as now Thompson getting the old point to the watch, saying no more of that. Let's get it going. As Thompson finally puts it back into touch. Margarita elevates high, bouncing ball. Gibert going to get ahead to it as Hafferty stops. Little slide challenge, good bit of ball movement from Lexington to keep possession. Speedy Williams. Joe, you get the feeling there's another goal in here. Don't know where it's going to come from, as it's a long run. Rakowski coming out.
Cools can be there from Pat Rakowski. Killing, though, absolutely agree. The game has settled from the truly helter-skelter end-to-end action that we saw just a few minutes ago. But Phoenix Rising really pushing numbers forward. Right now we're seeing them continue to push the outside backs high up the field. Colin Smith getting involved in this second half. They're looking for opportunities. Lexington content to sit a little bit deeper in the second 45 than we saw in the first half. They want to try to manage this game. You see it with the subs. You see it now even with their line of confrontation closer to midfield. Phoenix certainly trying to be aggressive here in the second half.
Margarita tries to sneak one through. It ends up falling to the feet of Avayevu. Poor ball in. There is nobody there. Johnson wanted that one a little bit further up towards the penalty spot, as Brooks Thompson will take his time, quickly scoop it up and roll it back out.
You can see how intentional Phoenix Rising are being in looking for Darius Johnson on this right side. It's a second or third switch that they directed towards the Granada International. Keep an eye on 22 in black.
Burks. Just a back heel flicked along. Firmino. Played down the goal scorer at Edekun. Have to wonder when the next flurry of substitutes may be coming for either or both sides. Williams switches ends. Gibert over for Burks, now to Sargent. Ball played forward. Firmino comes and gets it. Firmino with Emmers in front of him. Ajago tries to touch and turn, tries to fight his way through and taken down, and it will be a free kick for Lexington on the edge of the 18.
Yeah, and that's so good from Forster Ajago. So hard to deal with up top, especially when he spins you into the channels. Those long legs, but it's more than just the length, it's the strength. There from Forster Ajago up against a very, very good 1v1 defender in Excel Asenge. Still the man on loan from RSL earns his side a valuable chance to see a little bit of time tick off the clock and pick up a set piece in a great spot.
Certainly those two, one you could see battling in the MLS in a couple years' time. Essentially a short corner here for Lexington. Approaching 70 played tonight. See if the visitors can double their advantage. Finally laid in, low cross, and that one deflected straight out and back towards midfield. Bit of a wasted opportunity for Lexington. Medense gonna stop, got two defenders in front of him. Lovely piece of footwork, and that one earns a Carvana corner kick on that far side. So Medense setting up to take this one. First corner kick of the night for Lexington. As a substitute ready to come on, and it looks like it is going to be Isan Sako. At least one of the subs. Corner will be taken. This one swung in on that left boot of Medense and headed back out. Emi Quaisho, Jamison Ping, and Isan Sako. The three readying for Phoenix. It's Danny Barbier getting ready to come on for Lexington. All played long over the top, nothing there. So we see the changes coming for Phoenix. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, Isan Sako can be a real X factor here for Phoenix Rising, who have lacked a little bit of skill in that front line tonight. They're spending more and more time up in the final third for Lexington. Sako is somebody who's a bit of a hybrid between a 9 and a winger. Can pick up those little spots in the half spaces, help link play, but then also crash the box and be that primary runner Phoenix have lacked.
Avievu comes back to the center to collect. Avievu presses towards the edge of the 18. Gonna stop, turn, and press it back out for JP Skiers. Flood gonna send this ball in towards Johnson in the middle, nothing there. Cleared back out, Emmers not able to get ahead to it as Williams is the first man there. Asenge, who looked like he tripped a little bit, but ends up coming away with possession. Jerome Margarita is rising, trying to find an equalizer before these substitutes come on. Avievu thought about it, chipped it, kneed up. Margarita. Intersecting run, Emmers, one touch, Emmers continue to go, Emmers deflected down and out of the 18. Senge let it through the legs and turn back to Saint. That crowd on the south end trying to will their side to level it. Avievu crossed in, looking for the back post, but nothing there. It was too tall for Johnson, and then Smith at the back post couldn't get there in time as the substitutes will be coming on.
Yeah, that's great resolute defending from Lexington. Once again, it's the vet, Speedy Williams, coming up with big-time tempo-setting plays for the visitors. Speedy Williams dropping back into that back line to make them a line of 5, give them extra width across the face of goal.
So it looks like Emmer is going to come off for Jamison Ping as the youngster will get some work in this second half. No shortage of energy out of that young man right there. So Sako will come in up top for Formella. Ping for Emmers and Emi Quaisho in for Ryan Flood. Danny Barbier, the man that enters for Lexington. So there's all the subs at the moment for both sides.
And you see Barbier coming on immediately, joining that back line, making them a pure 5. Really trying to stay resolute defensively to see out this game on the road and pick up a huge 3 points. Just 3 points behind the playoff line coming into tonight, Lexington.
Sacco crossing his way through. Sacco into the center. He was looking for Ping at the penalty spot, but it's cleared away.
And there's that purposeful play that you get from Isan Sacco. Formella brings a lot of class on the ball in the final third, but not the same level of quickness that you get from an Isan Sacco.
Played back for Saint. Rising trying to set things up. "15 minutes to go in the 90. Here's Ping. Ping has to wait up a little bit. Ball a little long for Smith as he has to chase it down. Back to the youngster Ping. Ping keeping possession as that one bounces up off of the chest of Lexington's Kieran Sargent. Smith, low cross, nobody there though, is right to a waiting foot of Lexington. And if you can't watch the match, be sure you turn on Sirius XM FC 157. It's North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights. Plus you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Another ball just aimlessly sent in towards the center, and now it's going to be a stoppage as Sargent is down, and the Phoenix dugout not happy about the stoppage. As they're going to come and attend to Sargent, who's down and getting stretched out.
Yeah, not just the Phoenix dugout. That's none too pleased at Kieran Sargent going down there after defending 1v1 against Colin Smith. We're seeing a lot of play down this right side for Phoenix between Jamison Ping, the youngster, and Colin Smith. One thing, though, Killian, that's become clear after this latest round of subs for both sides is that it certainly seems like the phase of play is set for the rest of this game, where Lexington now are sitting back in their pure back 5, really a 5-2-3, 5-4-1 structure from Terry Boss. And Pamudaka's Phoenix Rising side are going to be camped out high up the field in the final third. It is up to Phoenix to find a look, maybe several looks, against a really tight, disciplined low block. It's no easy task.
Some water all around, everybody getting rehydrated. You know it would go great with your hydration?
Go on.
How about some Raising Cane's chicken fingers? Cane's hand-battered chicken fingers and delicious secret sauce, the perfect way to feed your post-game appetite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. What's the go-to order at Cane's, Joe?
I'm going a box. No box combo.
Are we an extra?
You already
extra
know
toast?
the answer is yes.
Okay.
You already know the answer is yes.
So extra toast, not doubling up on the sauce, huh?
Not doubling up on the sauce. Extra toast.
This one crossed in and headed out again. As Lexington maybe trying to get something going on the counter. Adedekun is going to have it one-on-one with Carl Saint. Adedekun already has one. Adedekun just wide.
Phoenix Rising, breathing a little sigh of relief. They had numbers back, but Michael Adedekun has been so effective. Almost any time he's been on the ball tonight, after that slip from Asenge, an opportunity for the 24-year-old charging at Carl Saint. Pushes that shot just wide.
That's where any opportunities you'd expect for Lexington in these final few minutes are going to come. It's going to be on that counter.
Yep.
As we're going to see, it looks like this is Lexington. They're currently playing with 10 men. Kieran Sargent looks like he's not going to continue. We'll have a substitute ready to come on. Smith sneaks his way all the way down and can't control possession and just lets it spill right over the back line.
Oh, that's so good initially from Colin Smith to round the edge. There for Lexington, getting outside Danny Barbier, but just cannot play that final ball. It's been a plight for Phoenix Rising tonight.
Two more substitutes coming for Lexington. It's going to be the youngster Daniel Wu, the Cary, North Carolina native. He's going to come on for Sargent. As Hugo Mbong is coming on as well. So Wu will come back, is back to all 11. And now Mbong waiting to come on the pitch. As it is Forster Ajago, the man to be slowly making his way off.
And on that Daniel Wu substitution, Wu's moved over to that right-sided center back role, it looks like, for Lexington. It's Joe Hafferty now playing his third different position on the back line for this visiting team tonight. Started as the right-sided center back, then moves over to right back in the second half. After that, whistle is blown, and now coming all the way over to defend as a left wing back against Colin Smith and Darius Johnson.
That one fought out, and it'll be a throw to Phoenix. Guaisho, he had that game winner last week at Texoma in that Jägermeister Cup thriller, 5-4.
And make no mistake, Killian, that's all we see. Emil Guaisho on the field tonight in place of Ryan Flood to close out this game because of what he brings going forward.
As Guaisho goes high up, makes a hard fall, and a little over the back. As eFootball is here. You can live your dream and rep your team. You can play as your favorite USL Championship side. eFootball is free to play, so go and download it now. Chip up. Adedekun chests it forward, and then a foul. A little bit too much contact from Asenge.
And Lexington happy to continue to win these little fouls. Watch some time tick off the clock. Now what this does for Phoenix, though, is it maybe gives them an opportunity, a rare one, to attack in transition. Be curious to see what happens here after the ball turns over.
Danny Barbier sent back Burks, the man kind of right in the middle of that back line. Guaisho comes flying in, wins the ball. Margarita tried to chip it ahead to him, was making a run on that left wing, is now Skierce battling, and ball played out. Firmino wins it. Bear with the throw. Another throw. And another few seconds can tick off this clock as we approach the 90.
And if you're Phoenix Rising, it's been a frustrating 83 minutes or so now for the home side, and a lot of that frustration comes from the first half. You know, the more I think on this game, the more Pamudaka, I would imagine, thinks on this game. It's a missed opportunity in the opening stages of the match to really set the tone and go and take the game to Lexington, where now all of a sudden the ball doesn't bounce your way, you're down 1-0, and you're left to get back into this match against a very resolute defensive team, a team that is really leaning into that part of their identity in the last month or so in both league play and in Jägermeister Cup play. Phoenix Rising just didn't start this game quickly enough and now leave themselves a hole to climb out of.
A hole to climb out of with not much time to do so. Asenge gonna switch all the way to Guaisho. Now Margarita. Margarita tries to play that one ahead as Skierce gonna come over. Skierce taken to the ground, but possession one. Actually, it will be a foul as Skierce was taken to the ground. Ping wants to go quickly, and he will take it quickly. Smith, as Johnson looked to make a run. Johnson will come back to the ball. Johnson gets held up. As Johnson, he sat there. He had Hafferty spinning every which direction, and Hafferty was just grabbing a hold of the kit. Phoenix trying to play quickly, and finally they do. Avievu cuts inside. Avievu sent down, little back heel from Johnson. Johnson goes down, not enough there.
Yeah, that's good work from Hope Avievu. Trying to really put the game on his shoulders as this team's number 10. Really savvy feet into the 18.
Margarita now. Margarita too far behind Isan Sacco. As now the big-bodied Sacco tries to fight and win that ball and unable to do so.
Yeah, and that's a bit of frustration there from Isan Sacco, who has not been involved all that much since arriving on the field to help close out this game and really get on the board for Phoenix Rising.
And the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every single day on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Be headed out. Possession will stay with Lexington as we approach 5 minutes left. Braxton Montgomery looks like will be the last substitute to come on for Phoenix. As Montgomery comes sprinting on.
And we're seeing Braxton Montgomery come on for Hope Avievu. An interesting substitution choice there from Pamadou Ka. I wonder if Hope Avievu's maybe dealing with a little something. He doesn't have the legs to finish this game. Phoenix Rising will now be without their chief central playmaker. Against a deep Lexington team, we'll see Emil Quaisho step into the midfield with Montgomery moving to left back.
Smith with a long run. Ping was trailing him the entire way, and they'll reset. Quaisho will step into that, fill that position where Avievu was. Montgomery will slide over onto that left back. Margarita sends that one in, and it will be off for a Carvana corner kick on the far side for Phoenix.
Yeah, and a huge opportunity here for Phoenix Rising, where open play chances have been really hard to come by in this game. Isan Sacco and Acela Senge in the box looking for this ball in from Ping.
Ping, good turn, sent it towards the back post off the head of Gibert. Bicycle kick attempt from Quaisho. He's known to have a flair for the dramatic, but that quite possibly would have been, I think, one of the most impressive things you've ever seen him do. As he wants this corner now on the near side. Quaisho sends this one in and headed out. One touch down, deflected back. Saint wanted to look at goal from distance. Montgomery collects and goes quickly. Montgomery not there as Margarita, poor turnover. Here comes the counterattack. Adedokun can try to ice this game right here. He's got Ping right in front of him. Adedokun step over. Adedokun just wide. Rakowski came out. Closed down the angle, and they play on.
And that would have been the perfect end of this match for Michael Adedokun, who's been absolutely phenomenal. The brightest player on the field so far tonight, just can't quite direct that inside the post. Phoenix Rising with a let-off after a sloppy turnover in the attacking half.
Senge in behind the run. Johnson, this is a flag, stay down. Johnson crossed back towards the center and headed out and away. It will be a throw to Phoenix. Looks like Rising is going to have their chances. Can they capitalize on one? Smith right back up off the defender. He'll go for the throw in again. Skeers comes a couple steps closer. Now they'll throw it all the way back. There's Saint. Skeers. Over to Smith on the right wing. Now Johnson. In the middle for Skeers. Leaves for Johnson. Johnson wants to try and cross. A deflection, and that one headed up and around and cleared away. Senge with another quick throw. Approaching 90 played. Margarita has to sprint all the way back to get that ball. Now a poor one come over, intercepted, but Saint steps in front of it. Sacco trying to see if he can get a run in behind. Sacco just steps over the ball a bit too far and cleared away once again.
Yeah, Phoenix Rising and Carl Saint with a great step defensively to stop that potential counterattack for Lexington. Still just cannot find any room going the other way against this Lexington back five.
The way this Lexington back line has been, they closed the door, they locked it, and threw the key out the window. Going to be 5 minutes added on as Ping, bit too over anxious on that one, sends it all the way through.
Yeah, Phoenix Rising nearing kitchen sink time, excuse me. Absolutely needing to push numbers forward. Don't be shocked if you see Carl Saint or Acela Senge work their way higher and higher up, closer to the edge of the 18 to be another target inside the box.
Brooks Thompson will send them forward. 5 minutes from 3 straight league victories, their first road championship win. The newest team in the championship, up from League One after spending 2 seasons there, and 3 points that could propel them right up to the playoff line. Smith tries to go around. That one goes through. It'll be a throw to Phoenix, as Hafferty was the one who came across to get a piece of it.
And one of the struggles for Phoenix tonight has been their lack of attacking productivity from the outside backs, whether that's Colin Smith. Think about his struggles playing that final ball, or Ryan Flood being quiet in his minutes on the field. They've really struggled to take advantage of those wide areas, which is where Lexington have ceded the space.
Here's Guibert in one of those wide areas. They'll press it ahead, towing right up the line, going down, nothing there. Phoenix trying to work it back the other direction. Saint, as numbers get pushed forward. Margarita now. He's got a run from Sacco if he wants it in front, and he'll take it. Sacco tries to cross, took a couple deflections around, as now Skier steps in, as Sacco will go back and collect. A little step over. Quayshow in behind Margarita. Margarita keeping possession. That one took a piece. Back the other way. Mbong, long run. Mbong going right up the middle. Mbong trying to end it. Rakowski knocks it down and just wide of goal.
A second chance there for Lexington after the Adedokan shot a moment or two ago to really kill off this game. Finding space between Phoenix Rising center backs, and it's Patrick Rakowski pushing that ball wide right. Lexington don't kill it off, but have a chance to watch the clock tick here from the corner flag.
More time ticking away. Just 2 orange kits up near the ball. And frustrated as a poor bit of play. Easy turnover as Phoenix was able to throw it right back in. And Bong came over and tried to shield it right in front of the corner flag, and he just let it roll right out. Quayshow, as now looks like Darius Johnson is down in some pain on the near side. Sacco tries to lay it towards the center, and that one laid ahead. It will be a foul as Skiers went in heavy with the challenge, and now the attention potentially turning to Johnson, who went down with really nobody around him. Hafferty, the one who took that challenge from Skiers. And Johnson trying to come over and see to Johnson. JP Skiers trying to help him get on his feet, and Johnson unable to put much weight on that left leg as he's limping off the pitch.
Yeah, that's insult to injury or injury to insult for Phoenix Rising. Seeing Darius Johnson so soon after getting back really into the thick of things this summer from being away on international duty walk off what appears to be some pretty serious discomfort there with his leg. Phoenix now playing down a man.
And they'll be down a man. We'll see how much time is left in this one nonetheless. They had 5 minutes. We approach the 5. Thompson sends it into the Phoenix Knight. Adedekun. He's going to take it, run it all the way down into the corner. Oh, foul. Ball will stick with Phoenix. Smith tries to get it played quickly, being told he got to put it all the way back into the corner. If there's anything left in this game, it's got to come right now for Phoenix. Rakowski walking it up. Rakowski will play the long ball. Skierce heads it up for Sacco. Skierce comes flying in. Ping. Gets a touch to it. Smith. Smith going to stop and turn. Smith hesitates one more time. Goes back towards the goal line. Smith tries to cross. It's out the back. And it will be a goal kick. And that might just do it tonight in Phoenix.
Well, and that might sum up the performance tonight from Phoenix Rising. Their inability to play that final ball, sloppiness in the final third. And they drop a home game. Lexington with their first ever win in the championship away from home.
3 points for Lexington, a hard-fought 3 points. And they come away with victory number 4 on the season. And a difficult night for the hosts. That man right there, the difference maker. Michael Adedekun, the lone goal scorer, his first on the season in the championship. And it's ultimately the game winner.
Yeah, and Adedekun's been so dangerous in his 4 starts prior to tonight. Finally does find the back of the net. He has been a real bright spot for that man there, Terry Boss. Playing on the left wing, so dynamic, cutting in on the right foot. Had multiple chances tonight to kill off the game. Doesn't come back to bite Lexington, who stayed so resolute defensively to grind out this result on the road. A really impressive performance from the visitors tonight.
Well, handshakes around. Lexington will head back home with 3 points. Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up for you on the other side of this break. 1-0 Lexington over Phoenix.
The monsoon can drastically change our weather in just minutes.
With First Alert Weather, any changes, you'll know first, you'll know before.
Get the First Alert before you plan your day.
Get the First Alert before your commute home.
Get the First Alert to keep your family safe.
No matter what's on the horizon, when we know, you'll know. It's why we First Alert.
Only on Arizona's Family.
Looking for power, performance, and pure luxury? Look no further than Coulter Buick GMC Tempe. Right now, drive off in a brand new GMC Sierra 1500, Hummer EV, or Sierra EV. Whether you're cruising in comfort or hauling with confidence, Buick and GMC have the style and strength to match your lifestyle. So come shop our new Buick and GMC inventory with outstanding factory offers and exceptional dealer incentives at Coulter Buick GMC Tempe. Experience the difference.
Oh, Waymo's here.
The what?
The Waymo.
What's a Waymo?
There you go.
It's driving itself.
You're okay. It's driving itself.
It's driving itself.
It's driving itself.
How does it do this?
Magic.
Back in Phoenix, wrapping things up for you. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry, 1-0. Lexington SC take their first ever road victory in the championship, as we now have your match highlights for you. Thanks to Heel Rivers Resorts and Casinos. The first half, it was kind of a back and forth. Phoenix, it felt like they kind of had control of it, at least possession-wise, the first 15 or so minutes. A few opportunities. Nothing really came of it. then things really kind of flipped on its head, and Lexington did a really good job the rest of the first 45.
Yeah, Lexington so effective tonight, controlling the game with their possession structure, and then later in the second half with their defensive ability, putting numbers behind the ball. But in the first half, it was them being patient, working their way through some early sloppiness inside their own third that gave Phoenix a couple of looks. But eventually they do get back in control of the match, push numbers forward, and take the lead through none other than Michael Adedokun, who was brilliant on the left side for Terry Boss tonight.
Yeah, some aggressive defense there. Ball laid over. Adedokun, a couple touches, gets it to his right foot and slots it home on the bottom right just past Patrick Rakowski. And that's really the difference maker. A few opportunities. Phoenix came out and they had chances. They just couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, trying to take advantage of Darius Johnson, who was an early second half sub, and his dynamic movement on that right side. At the end of the day, though, just not quite enough clear-cut attacking looks for Phoenix Rising. Lexington able to put numbers behind the ball and give themselves opportunities to attack in the break-in transition, like we see here from Adedokun. It was a little unfortunate not to put that ball on frame. A couple of looks that he had in the second half to really end this thing.
Yeah, here are the final stats for you tonight. Obviously, the 1-0 score line. No shots on target tonight for Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix Rising, just not enough clear-cut joy in the final third. They look back on that first half when the game was a little bit more open as a real missed opportunity. And Lexington will look back on this as a hard-earned 3 points. They were 3 points back from the playoff line when this weekend's action kicked off. They're in a 3-game winning streak right now.
Yeah, 3-game winning streak. Lexington shoots themselves right up to the edge of the playoff line. Phoenix, a missed opportunity with New Mexico United dropping points tonight. A 1-0 final. Well, I want to wrap things up here. A big thanks to our entire crew here at 38th in Washington. For my partner, Joe Lowry, my name is Killian McClatchy. I want to thank you for spending some of your 4th of July with us. Please be safe this evening. Enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend with friends and family. You've been watching this presentation of the USL Championship. Have a good rest of your 4th of July.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.